What's going on, everybody? Josh Engleman here for Stokastic.com, back again with the NBA DFS contenders on DraftKings for Wednesday, May 17th. Be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you know when everything goes live. Follow me on Twitter at Josh Engleman, and the big one, sign up for the lineup generator. I'm not just pushing NBA either. We've got NBA, obviously, PGA. Great week for it. PGA Championship coming up. MLB just dropped last week. NFL exists in the future. Less than $5 for your first week. We're talking MLB right now because I think that's the main focus for everybody. We're creating thousands of lineups. We get rid of the junk. We present the rest to you. And it's all for $4.48 for your first week. If you're looking to get better at DFS, just try it out, folks. You're not going to regret it. I'm very confident in that. Now, we are going to round out the bottom of my top 10 with Cody Zeller. Yes, Cody Zeller. Just want to put this out there right now. He's the flat minimum. If he's the backup, he's the only $1,000 guy that you can play today. Caleb Martin, Gabe Vincent, Malcolm Brogdon, and Marcus Smart on the outside looking in. Who will be my favorites? My top 5 plays for today? It's time to find out. First up at number 5, we're going to Jimmy Butler. He's $12,200. That is a massive price tag. Projected for about $50. He's the optimal captain 16% of the time. Optimal at utility 38% of the time. That gets you there 54%. Little over a coin flip. 41 minutes for Butler. It's like a 1.2 fantasy point per minute guy. 30% usage, 29 points, 7 boards, 5 assists, 2.5 stocks. You know what you're getting here when you pay up for Butler, and I think he looks great. I think Jason Tatum is slightly better, but if you're looking for ceiling, those are the two guys that have the biggest ones of anybody that's going for today. That said, 12-2, you're going to have to make some concessions in the rest of your lineup. You're going to have to really think if you can get Butler and Tatum in the same lineup. But guys like Cody Zeller really changing up the game, or, and I'm putting out a spoiler alert here, the guy at number 1 is really changing the game, and that's not Jason Tatum. At number 4, we've got Jalen Brown, $10,200, projected for 43. Captain, 13% of the time. Utility, 42% of the time. I went 40 minutes for Jalen Brown. Live to play more, potentially. 1.05 fantasy points per minute, 29% usage. 26 points, 6.5 boards, 3.5 assists, and a stock and a half. A lot of halves for Jalen Brown. Clearly looks good. If it's not a Tatum day and the Boston Celtics want to win, it's probably a Jalen Brown day. These guys got kind of bounced back and forth, though I don't know if Jalen Brown has that Game 7 game in him. All told, looks very similar to Butler. While you are getting slightly lower ceiling, you are saving a pretty sizable chunk of money. In at number 3, we've got Bam Adebayo. He's $9K, which feels like a little bit of an overprice until you realize that he's third in optimal odds. 14% chance of being your optimal captain, 45% at utility. I went 38 minutes. Maybe they rely on him a little bit more because I don't know how well it's going to go to have Cody Zeller be your center. He's about a fantasy point per minute guy in the playoffs. 19 points, 10 boards, 3 assists, 2 stocks. I'm a little nervous for Bam in this series just because I think he's going to have to play an even bigger role defensively than he has so far in the playoffs. But even still, we know what his usage rate looks like. We know how he's involved. Somehow he just ends up getting into that like high 30s fantasy point range every single game. And it doesn't feel like he's having that kind of game, but he does it anyway. Seems like that's going to work for today. Number 3 is Bam Adebayo, and I don't think it's crazy. You guys might think this one is crazy. Number 2 is Jason Tatum. He jumped 12% over Bam in optimal and still couldn't get to number 1. He's $12,400. That is a massive price tag. Projected for 54. He's your optimal captain 22% of the time. Optimal at utility 48% of the time. I went 41 minutes, 1.3 fantasy points per minute. Clearly has a massive ceiling. We saw what happened in Game 7. 29 points, 10 boards, 5 assists, and 2 stocks for Tatum. Take your pick between him and Butler. I think it's pretty clearly Tatum, but you might look at it a little bit differently. I don't mind going to Jason Tatum because one of his teammates makes it really easy to get there. We've got one guy that's better than Jason Tatum in the rankings. We've got one deal that's better than Jason Tatum as well. That means 2 things are better than Jason Tatum. NBA lineup generator, PGA lineup generator, MLB lineup generator, less than $5 for your first week. Your number 1 contender for today is Time Lord, Robert Williams, 4,400, projected for 26, captain 15% of the time, utility 55%. That's the biggie here. No matter what you think of Robert Williams' ceiling, 4,400 is not the right price. Now, I assume he starts again today. I also think that there are potential changes that are made to these lineups in one way or the other. Either they don't start Robert Williams, because I think that that is a reasonable path against the Heat, or the Heat stop starting Kevin Love. One of the teams is going to blink first. My guess is that the Heat blink first and Robert Williams maintains, but I would not be surprised to see them change this lineup. Derek White step back to starting lineup and fit in this series in a much different way than he did in the previous series. 27 minutes for Time Lord, a fantasy point per minute, 7.5 points, 9 boards, an assist and a half, and 2 stocks. This is the very clear best point per dollar play on the slate. There's a reason he shows up at number 1. If you're building lineups with one of the pay up options, you have to go to Robert Williams. Like, no doubt about it, the easiest thing you'll get to at utility. Alrighty, folks, that will do it. Those are my NBA DFS contenders on DraftKings for Wednesday, May 17th. The FanDuel version is around here somewhere, so check it out. Good luck tonight, everybody. Win some money. We're back again tomorrow morning for another edition of the Contenders.